5 Minutes Information channel, and I welcome you all. This is episode number 59, and in this episode, I will talk about the information sources. Viewer guidance, the notes of this video lecture available on the URL link mentioned in this video description. In this video, I will talk about the three main points of information sources. Number one, what is information sources? Number two, what are the three different types of information sources and their examples? Number three, what are the usage of information sources? Point number one, what is information sources? An information source is a source of information for somebody. Anything that might informs a person about the something or provide knowledge to somebody. Information sources may be observations, people speeches, documents, picture, organization, as well as social media posts like Facebook posts, Twitter tweets, and etc. In other words, we can say that an information source is a person, thing, or place from which information comes, arise, or obtain. Point number two, what are the three types of information sources and their examples? There are three types of information sources. Number one, primary source. Number two, secondary source. And number three, tertiary sources of it. I will discuss each sources one by one along with example. Number one, primary source. Primary sources are created as close to the original event or phenomena as it is possible to. A photograph, video, tweet, and Facebook post is the original source. Original work written like poem, diaries, court record, interviews are the example of original source. Original research finding, fieldwork, survey, theory, and experiment is also known as a primary reference. Primary sources, there are three main dimensions. Number one, original document. Number two, creative works. Number three, relics and artifacts. In original document like diary, speeches, correspondence, interviews, manuscripts, government documents, news film footage, archival material, and autobiographies. The second dimension on types of primary sources are artwork, novel, poetry, music, architectural drawings, plans, photographs, films, relics and artifacts, poetry, decorative arts, clothings, buildings, textiles, needleworks are counted as relics and artifacts. Number two, secondary sources. Secondary sources of information are counts written after the fact with the benefit of hindsight. They are interpretation and evaluation of primary sources. Secondary sources are not evidence, but rather than commentary on it and discussion of the evidence. Example of the secondary sources are bibliographies, bibliographical works, commentary, criticism, conference proceeding, essay on review, histories, literary criticism such as journal articles, reprints of the artwork. Source number three, tertiary sources. Tertiary sources are present summary or condensed version of material, usually with the reference back to be primary or secondary sources. Or in other words, tertiary sources are provided the information about the information like almanac, abstracts, dictionaries, encyclopedias, handbook, as well as library catalog are the example of the tertiary sources. Point number three, what are the usage of information sources? The usage of information sources, point number one, to help out in the research evidence. Point number two, to help out in the literature review. Point number three, to provide the guidance, right source of information. Point number four, provide justification to the reviewer. Here I conclude the episode number 59. I hope you learned about the definition of information sources and three types of information sources and their example, as well as the usage of information sources. So I will back soon with the another informative source or so stay tuned with the 5 minutes information channel. Don't forget like, comment and subscribe.